Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zulu's Board Game Cafe. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ethan.
And today we are going to be taking a look at the hit Kickstarter board game Lords of Hellas.
Absolutely.
Lords of Hellas is a super cool big miniatures board game, and we're going to dive on in, start taking a look at the game and all of its expansions today. It's going to be great.
Let's do it, man.
Let's just go ahead and crack on into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Get this beautiful lid off with the shiny Zeus on the top. Right there. We got our board, obviously. Not going to set that up, but it looks essentially like that, or whatever you want to do.
So what's Lords of Hellas about, Ethan? You're the champion for this game.
Yeah, Lords of Hellas is a great game about area control and I guess fighting over a version of Greece. It's like a futuristic cyborgy-esque Greece that's like so I guess it's kind of a combination of the old mythology and then like a futuristic kind of, they have like a robotic stuff to them. I don't know exactly what the genre is.
Greek cyberpunk?
Something like that. I don't know if it's quite cyberpunk.
Cyborg Hercules in this game?
Basically. All right, so you do have some popular characters from that mythology, like Heracles, aka Hercules. You got Perseus, most known from probably Clash of the Titans fame.
Sure.
These two boards want to be stuck together.
Is that Helen, like Helen of
This
Troy?
is
as a
Helen
playable
of
character?
Troy, absolutely.
Oh wow, not a character you think would be playable.
Another one from that world, Achilles, everyone's favorite Achilles.
It's a Space Marine Achilles right there.
Pretty much. So I think it's a really cool concept and a way to do this game that's different than anything we've ever seen before. The game is a few years old, probably 5 years old, but
2018, so 4 years.
4 years old. So
yeah.
It's one of the more earlier Awakened Realms Kickstarters, but they are coming out with Lords of Ragnarok soon, and we thought, hey, what a good time to show people this game who haven't seen it yet or want to get into it before that comes out. You get your campaign book, easy, game manual,
all the rules,
bunch of stuff.
The real thing that these games are about, and the thing that Awakened Realms is famous for, of course, is these miniatures. They're so good. The ultra high detail minis that come in Awakened Realms games.
They're really pretty. So basically what you're getting here is 4 different hoplites for each color, and the color doesn't necessarily mean which hero you are playing, but you will get a color and you'll take those hoplites. They do seem to have an aesthetic that goes with them, like the red guys seem to have like a kind of a Heracles aesthetic, so they're intended for that, but it doesn't matter. And then you get all your components for everyone, but the cool thing is the monsters and the statues. So I don't know if you want to show some of those off, but that's your Hydra. You got fan favorite Cerberus right here, 3-headed dog. Let's see, it's kind of got that what's that game, Horizon Dawn or whatever feel to it.
Oh yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, it's kind of got that feel to some of the monsters, which I think is really neat. Here's the Chimera,
Cool.
3-headed winged ram dragon lion thing.
Some of these are enormous.
Yeah, so these are the statues, which this is actually one of the ways to win the game. This kind of put a timer on your game, but they also give you upgrades throughout the game.
So what's like the objective? What are we trying to do in this game?
So in this game, there's 4 ways to win. There's 4 objectives, and the first person to complete one of those objectives instantly wins the game. This is not like a lot of games recently where it's like, we play the whole game, we count up our points, whoever's the most points wins. There are 4 objectives. First one to complete one of them wins the game. The main one is to capture to capture 2 regions, or I think they're called lands in this game. It's really confusing because they have lands and regions, but I believe a region is like a subsect of a land. So you need to conquer 2 whole lands, and the second you do it, you win the game. Or you need to hold 5 temples, and the temples get built throughout the game. You can kill 3 monsters, and the monsters spawn with the game and wreak havoc across the board. They're kind of a PvE sort of thing. And then there's building the whole statue and then holding it for 3 turns, which is the most difficult one to do. But if the game is taking long, a player can kind of have that method to like, hey, I'm not really winning anything else. If I just keep everyone else from completing their objectives, I can just hold this spot and hopefully win the game.
So cool. I just want to try and win that way.
They are.
Put this whole model on.
I know. It is the most unfortunate thing is you start with this for each god on the table. And you have to build up to this to have the cool Athena statue, which the statues are freaking cool, really cool. But yeah, they come in like 4 or 5 pieces, and then each time you add a piece, that means you upgraded your statue, and you can then make your heroes stronger. So that's how you win. What do you do in this game, though? Actually, why don't you ask me that?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. What does gameplay actually look like while we're...
Yeah, so like I said, you got the 4 objectives. Now it's about how do you do that. So if you're familiar with area control games, you're going to have an amount of troops, which are your hoplites in this game. They're all the same. They're just like a 1 strength kind of unit. And when you get in a battle, whoever has the most strength will win the battle. There's also combat cards which can sway battles and things like that. But for the most part, you're trying to conquer areas, build temples, build up your the statues for the gods of your choosing, and try to do things like quests and monsters. Now you'll have a hero, and the hero doesn't take place in battles for the most part. They don't really affect battles at all, but they can do things that sway battles, and they might get artifacts like you just showed there throughout the game. And they're going to go around and they're going to fight monsters, do quests, possibly support their troops if they have the right abilities. And they're kind of like a lone hero that just goes around the map and does all sorts of stuff, where they have way more mobility, where your hoplites have lesser mobility, but they're like defending and capturing cities and stuff like that. So you're doing all these fun things, like I said, fighting all these monsters, and then like each phase, the monsters, if they're out there, they'll attack and maybe kill some of your hoplites or some opponent's hoplites. You don't really know. You just they do like random things depending on where they are and how you roll. And then you're basically just trying to go around and complete objectives before other players, and then hinder them from completing their objectives.
All right. About how long? So you've actually gotten to play this.
I played this game, 4 times now, I think.
So yeah, about how long does a game of Blood Fells take with just the base game?
I would say, if you know what you're doing and everyone knows what they're doing, you're probably looking at a 2-hour game. But if you're more new to it, you're looking at 3-4 hours, depending on how many rules you have to go over. And so there are a couple things that may be a little bit confusing. I definitely think having someone teach it to you is obviously better. But once you understand the basics of the game and all that, like, it's actually a pretty straightforward game. It's just there's a bunch of rules that are like, okay, I don't understand how this works. Once you get it, like every game, it's a piece of cake. The gameplay is what's complex. Is just how I know what my opponent's doing, because we don't each have a different objective. We all can pick any of the objectives, but you can, after a turn or two, kind of figure out what people are trying to do. And then you have to decide, do I spend my moves, trying to complete my objective, or do I want to spend more moves trying to stop them from completing their objective? And so how you play is completely up to you, but sometimes you may have to also like fight someone and then team up with them later and be like, well, we got to stop this guy or he's going to win. And so now we're buddies. This whip is crazy. It actually goes across the top right here into, I think this is the one that goes into the other ones. I don't remember which way it is, like that. Right, like that. Yeah, perfect storage right there.
Good job.
The lightning whip.
This is their first attempt. So Awakened Realms did get way better at base internal storage.
Absolutely, pretty quickly too.
So for the objectives, the one thing, is there a limited amount of way to do them? Like, if one person is clearly doing one of the objectives, does it become much harder for someone else to do the same objective?
In an extent. I mean, there's only so much area. However, we will go over them later. When you play with more than 4 characters, there is more board you use, and the area gets bigger. Because I think there's 4 or 5 different lands in the base game. So yeah, you can't have everyone trying to control 2 lands. It's just, you're gonna be fighting forever. But that's why there's other things like, okay, I'm trying to control lands, but I also have my hero out fighting monsters in case I can't do that. Or my heroes are doing quests to make my stuff better. Or I'm making temples and trying to control them. You can also, like I said, you can control temples. They don't have to be in the same regions. Like, they can be anywhere. So there's 2 ways to do area control. And then you have your hero has an objective. And then you also have, like I said, building the statue, which is kind of like, hey, the game's taking kind of long. I'm going to keep cranking out these statues and just stay here and build up my defenses and turtle. So you can turtle in this game a little bit, but things have to be going pretty stalemate, I think, for it to work. I've actually never seen someone win that way. But I've also never seen someone go hardcore into winning that way, because I think it's the hardest way to win. Even I think they may even talk about in the rule book or somewhere where it's kind of a difficult way to win. But it does set a time. I know, it does set a time on the game where, like, at some point it's gonna happen. Because one of the mechanics is basically like, everyone will take actions. Each turn they'll take an action, and they'll do their turn actions, and then they're like one custom action where you have a board where you have to mark it off and you can't do it again until someone builds a statue. Then all those get refreshed, a new round starts, and then you start again. So you're not going to be able to do certain powerful actions until someone builds a statue, and that's a way to refresh the boards, basically.
Okay.
So it will happen.
Cool. So that's pretty much the base game. We'll go ahead and pack this one back up.
Sure.
And you can check out, we're also going to do another video where we open up all the expansions and take a look at those. So you can go ahead and check that out as well. And if you come on down to Zulu's, we've got a demo copy available, and you can check that out, learn to play for yourself.
And I do want to note that we have amazing prices on this game right now. It's featured on our website, www.zulusgames.com. And yeah, come check our Lords of Hellas bundle. We have the game, we have 4 of the expansions, and you can get them all at an insane price, like 50% off basically what their MSRP intention was.
Yeah.
So some
Great
even
deal.
better.
For
They're really good deals. And we even have some Sundrop expansions.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you.